Okay, welcome. So we've had requests for shoulders and moving the energy around, moving the body. Okay, so let's begin on our backs and do a chest opener. That's going to start to help us open the shoulders. So the shoulder opening we're doing tonight is specifically to counter desk work. So this is going to immediately counter that shape that we do when we're at the desk. So you can use a bolster, you can use a brick, you can just lie on the floor, but you won't get the chest opening. Sorry, the brick is across the back underneath the shoulder blades. And we're going to just take a few moments. We will move, but before we begin to move, just coming to stillness to just tune in, check in with our body and putting ourselves immediately into this shape that counters the slumping that occurs at our desks when we're driving and watching telly. So we just focus on your shoulders and just allow the shoulders to drop. When we've been doing a lot of desk work, tension usually creeps into the upper back, bringing the shoulders closer to the ears. We tend to shallow breathe. And tension gradually builds up in the upper chest and shoulders and neck. So just giving your shoulder tips permission to drop away from the ears, down towards the earth. Surrendering to gravity here with the shoulders. Legs can be any position. Tadasana, Shavasana, knees bent. Start to connect with your breath, start to deepen the breath, and start to feel the breath as an ally to stretch the shoulders, stretch the chest from within. The lungs are as far up the chest as the collarbones. They're high up in the chest, so we try to draw the inhale all the way up to the collarbones to expand the whole of the lungs, which expands the whole of the chest. And helps the shoulders release. So we can't relax and release the shoulders until the chest can fully open and relax too. Feel the physicality of your breath, stretching your body from the inside. For a few more breaths. If it feels okay, just extend the arms overhead and have the palms facing each other. And just take a few more really full breaths here into that chest cavity. Expanding, opening, stretching. Exhale. Just releasing the arms back down to the sides. And when you're ready, we're going to just roll to one side, remove the block, and just come back onto your back for a moment. So if we're wanting to move stuck energy this evening, then I think a really good place to start after the chest is the back of the legs. So we'll just do some hamstring openers. So if you've got a strap or something that can be used as a strap, a belt or something, just take it around the widest part of the right foot. You can extend the left leg down the mat. And we'll just start to get into stuck energy in the back of the leg, but we will use movement as well as stillness. So just first of all, just taking a few breaths here, more still, keeping both feet flexed, pressing up and out through the right heel, out through the left heel. Deep breaths. Starting to move the stagnant energy in the calf. We get a lot of stagnant energy pooling in our calf muscles, a lot of tension. And the tightness in the back of the thigh, just gradually starting to breathe into these areas. And then just using a bit of movement, just start to draw circles with your heel. If you are drawing a circle with the heel on the ceiling, feeling that this movement travels into the hip. So we're moving stagnant energy in the hip joint here. And you can just gradually let these circles get bigger, starting small, gradually more expansive. You might need to bring the hands lower down the strap to give yourself that space to take quite big circles. You'll feel yourself starting to roll around on the sacrum a little bit. That's okay. Just make sure you stay stable, stay connected to your core. And then take it in the other direction. Just take some big circles. So we spiral from small to big. On the other direction now, we're going to go from big to small. So starting with big circles, as big as you can, whilst remaining stable. Drawing the circles with your heels, so keeping the toes drawing to the shin, and then just start to make those circles a little bit smaller, just gradually spiraling in to the center, feeling how this is stirring the energy up. Gradually just returning to the middle. Just take one more breath in, maybe pulling the foot ever so slightly closer to the face now. And then on your next exhale, take both ends of the strap in the right hand, let the right foot come out to the right, left arm in the opposite direction. Pushing it out through that right heel. Keeping the left buttock down. Use your core connection, navel to the spine. Inhale, bring the leg back to the center. Swap the hands, holding the strap ends in the left hand. Release the right hand out to the side and start to allow the foot to come over to the left. Just letting the left leg roll with it. Taking some deep breaths here. Releasing the right shoulder blade to the floor. A nice shoulder opener for the opposite shoulder, the right shoulder in this case. Again, stretching and opening the chest. Connect to your core, draw the navel to the spine, come back to the center. Releasing the strap. Bend the knee, just check you're centrally aligned through the spine and the pelvis. Take your hands to the front of the right knee and just start to move the knee in circles. So similar to what we just did, but now the knee is bent. And take it in the other direction. So just stirring the hip joint energy again. Then hold the back of the knee and take some circles into the foot. So we're moving the knee joint. We're not going to be full circles, but just moving the foot in its full range of movement here and change direction. And then holding back onto the knee and just circle the right ankle. A few circles in each direction, changing direction. And release the right leg down the mat. And we'll swap sides. So starting with the hamstring openers, taking the strap around the widest part of the left foot, extending the left foot up. Don't forget the right leg, toes to the shin on both legs, pushing out through both heels, opening up the back of that left knee, and also by really flexing the left foot, we're trying to get into the stagnant energy in the back of the lower leg, back of the ankle, where a lot of tension can build up in our ankles and calves. So just really trying to flex that left foot to start to feel into that sensation, breathe into that sensation. It'll be quite intense, but use your breath to meet the intensity with softness. And then we're going to start to circle. So you might need to give yourself a bit more space, bring the hands further down the strap. Let's start with small circles in either direction, it doesn't matter. And just gradually making those circles bigger. Until we just come to whatever feels like a full range of movement here, where we feel kind of stable. We're not going to fall over to one side. Moving the left leg in its socket, the left hip in its socket, and then change direction, starting with the big circles in the other direction. Slowly, after a few rotations, starting to shrink the size of the circles. until we come back to stillness at the center. And we take another breath here, maybe drawing that foot a little bit closer to the face. And then we take hold of both ends of the strap in the left hand, release the right hand out to the right, and take the left leg out to the left. Flexing both feet, keeping the right buttock down. And moving into that inner left thigh now. And then connecting to your core, navel to the spine, bringing the leg back to the center, swapping the hands, holding the ends of the strap in the right hand, and just allowing the right leg to roll with you as you bring that left foot all the way out to the right or as far as is comfortable for your back. And feel how that stretches into the left side of the chest, pectoral muscle, and into the top of the left shoulder. So really breathing into that space we're creating in the chest as well. Left leg stays active, right leg can be relaxed here. Slow deep breath. And then draw the navel back to the spine, bring the leg back to the center, release your strap, check you're centrally aligned in the head, neck, spine and pelvis, and then draw that left knee in towards the chest, pushing out through the right heel. And then we'll come to moving energy. So with the hands on the knee, just start to draw circles with the knee. As fully as you feel comfortable doing. Again, you want to feel stable. You want to not feel like you're going to fall out to one side. But we try to expand the movement as much as possible and then change direction. Again, feel this moving the hip. If you feel it slightly differently now with the knee bend, it's probably notice where there's resistance if one hip's tighter than the other. And then coming back to the center, holding the back of the knee, we start to move the foot in its full range of movement. So this is now lubricating the knee joint, moving stuck energy in the knee joint. So energy tends to pool and stagnate in joints as well. Changing direction, try to only move the lower leg, not the upper leg. Use your hands to stabilize the thigh to stop it getting involved. The hip will want to be involved. And then holding the front of the knee again to start to circle the left ankle. And change direction. Great. And then just when you're ready, we're going to come up to seated, so you can roll to one side and press yourself up or come straight up. And we'll just, I think as we're kind of focusing on moving energy, we'll just do a little bit of gentle tapping. Gentle tapping is very stimulating for our energy body and our lymphatic system, super good for us. So we just kind of have curled fingers, soft fingers, and we just gently tapping kind of inwards and outwards on the chest, below the collarbones, or gently on the collarbones, and then below, just coming in and out. So we're kind of following the ribs, we're following the intercostal muscles, but we're just stimulating prana energy and lymphatic fluids and blood in the chest area. So we're coming in and out. When you get to the sternum, just kind of go down the sternum, down the breastbone, and then just come in and out along the ribs below the breastbone. And kind of all the way along the front of the body. In and out, gentle tapping. And then just doing one arm at a time. So just come to the back of one arm and just gently tap the back of the shoulder and the neck, very gentle. And then just gently tap your way down that arm, stimulating sensation, tap the palm and come up the other side of the arm, the inside of the arm. And we can go across the chest again and then swap hands, come to kind of the back of the shoulder and the neck of the other arm, soft fingers, coming down the outside of the arm, the deltoid, the tricep, down the forearm, to the top of the hand, and then turning the hand over, tapping the palm, coming back up gently along the inside of the arm. And then just to finish, just doing the face. So just starting along the jawbone, tapping in and out along the jawbone, up to the temples, coming up to the cheekbones, just very gently on the face, delicate skin here, in and out along the cheekbones, the temple and back, coming to the upper lip, in and out, the upper lip. And then along the eyebrows, in and out, and then just up and around a little bit on the forehead. So you're just kind of doing two little circles in opposite directions on the forehead. Just, you don't even need to follow a route, just gently tap as much of the forehead as possible, back to the temples, back down the cheeks to the jaw, and then coming to the back of the head, at the back of the neck, and just tap the whole of the skull, just gently awakening energy body, sensation, stimulating healing sense, and then just release the hands to the lap. Take a few breaths here, just notice how you feel, maybe a bit more alive, buzzing sensations. And then again, we'll begin to move. So we'll do kind of vinyasa, so movement with breath. So starting with cat-cow, so have your hands on your knees to stabilize you here. We'll inhale into the cow, looking up, rocking to the front of the pelvis. Exhale into the cat, rocking to the back of the pelvis, chin to chest. Inhale, cow, chest lift, shoulders back. Exhale, cat. So this is also going to be good for stretching out after computer work, as well as, again, moving stuck energy. We're starting to move into the pelvis and the spine now. So rhythmic movements with the breath. Feeling that pelvic rocking action, initiating the movement of the spine. This is super good for moving the energy when we start to move the pelvic area on the spine from that movement. And then next time you come back to the center, just pause. We're just going to explore rolling around the edge of the pelvic floor to initiate a more of a circular movement to the spine. So coming to your right sit bone, coming to the back rim of the pelvis, coming to the left sit bone, and coming to the front rim. And as we're doing this, again, we're initiating the movement with moving around, rolling around the rim of the pelvis, but we're adding the spine. So you're still cat-cowing. So you're in the cat when you're in the back rim of the pelvis, you're in the cow when you're in the front. But as you come out to the right sit bone, it's like we're pushing the right rib cage out to the right. When you come to the left sit bone, you're pushing the left rib cage out. So what you end up with is this full range of spinal movement that's initiated by the pelvis. If you have a very tight, stuck lower back, this will be tricky for you to feel this, but it will be helping to loosen up the fascia of your lower back. So just do what you can, and then change directions, do a few circles in the other direction, feeling, putting your awareness into your pelvis, really trying to drop over to the left sit bone, over to the tailbone, over to the right sit bone, towards the pubic bone, and then let the spine follow in this kind of undulation. And then coming back to the center. And then let's just do some side stretches, but again, movement with breath. So inhale, raise the hands above the head, palms touch. Exhale, we bring the left hand down, the right hand up. And then as we inhale, we come all the way over, and we exhale, bring the right hand down. Inhale, we stretch up and over as we exhale. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, the left hand comes down. Inhale, we stretch up through the right. Exhale, lean over. So we just try to come into a bit of a fluidity with this, even though we're matching breath and movement. So it's quite a slow side to side, but there's an element of fluidity. So the inhale brings you up. Exhale, bring the hand down. The inhale stretches the arm up, and the exhale takes you into the side lean. There's like 4 parts to each one. Inhale up, exhale, hand comes down. Inhale, we straighten up, and exhale, we lean over. We'll try to be disciplined about following the breath, but then be as fluid as possible between these 4 parts of the movement. So they each kind of merge into each other in this stream. And then next time you come up, just again, take a moment. And then when you're ready, just walking the hands forward and drop the head. So not moving with the breath now, just staying for a few breaths, dropping the head between the upper arms, breathing into the back of the body. With the hands, walking the hands back, find your way onto your hands and knees. And we'll revisit the cat-cow, but then we'll kind of take it into something else. So just start with classic cat-cow. So again, inhaling, lifting with the tailbone again, it's pelvic leg, dropping the belly, looking up, exhale, pelvic leg, drop the tailbone under, wave of motion of the spine, chin to the chest. So really try and feel this as an undulation, a wave of the spine, trying to get fluidity in our movements here, even though again, we're being quite disciplined with matching movement and breath. So we find that balance between the container, the structure, in this case, the discipline of breath, movement, synchrony, and this kind of flow, this free flow, intuitive flow. And then we can keep going with that, or that invitation to drop really into intuitive flow, or the animal body, where we just allow the body to show us what it wants to do here. So you can start with the cat-cow, but you can maybe think about getting the hips involved with circles. Maybe the shoulders want to get involved, maybe the elbows want to get involved, bending at the elbows, maybe the head still wants to get involved, but more circular motions. And there's no rules now, there's no wrong, there's no right, there's just maybe closing the eyes and just seeing how the body wants to be moved. And if it all feels too much, you can just be doing cat-cows as well. And then just slowing that down, bringing that back to the neutral spine. And we'll just take some deliberate big hip circles. So we'll take the hips all the way out to the right, all the way back onto the heels, all the way out to the left and all the way forward. So the shoulders are even in front of the wrists. So we're just drawing big circles with the hips now. And then change direction. And then slowly coming back to the center. And then when you're ready, we're going to take downward dog. So tucking the toes and lifting the hips, finding our way back into downward dog. And again, we'll just start with stillness and then we'll try a little bit of movement. So just find your downward dog, draw the navel up to the spine, feel again the structure, the container of downward dog, the stability, kind of neutralizing, balancing, symmetrical posture. And then just start to walk the feet up and down. So press the right heel down as you lift the left heel up. Just start with simply pressing the heels down behind you, one at a time. This is going to help move the stagnant energy in the lower leg again and the back of the ankle. But then up the hips, so you can pivot the feet a little bit. So as you lift the left heels, take the hips out to the left, and then pivot as you lift the right heel, take the hips to the right. And you'll feel the stretch on the other side of the body, the side where the heel is down. So pivoting the feet, moving the hips side to side. And then coming back to the center, just re-find your downward dog again. And let's just try a leg lift. So as you inhale, raise the right leg with the knee high, let the foot drop over to the left, square the chest to the floor. Just pause here, pressing down through the left heel, opening the back of the left calf and ankle. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, take it down. Just square off, take a breath in downward dog. And then inhale, raise the left leg. Keep the knee high, let the foot drop over to the right, draw the lower belly in, square the chest to the floor. Breathing here, pressing down through the right heel. And then inhale to extend that left leg up again. Take the left foot down, and we find downward dog. And then we're just going to roll like a wave into the plank. So come high onto the toes, come into that cat spine until the shoulders are over the wrists, and then open out the spine fully into the plank. Just take a breath or so in plank. And then we're going to lower the knees, and on an exhale, lower the chin and the chest to the floor, keeping the elbows in. Inhale your way to cobra or upward dog. Exhale, come back through tabletop and back to downward dog. I'm just going to cycle through that little vinyasa. So inhale and exhale in downward dog. And then next time you inhale, come high onto the toes, catch the spine, so arch the spine to the ceiling, come forward until the shoulders are over the wrists, and then open that spine out fully, taking an extra inhale in the plank. And then on the exhale, knees down, chin in the chest down, elbows in. Inhale your way to cobra or upward dog, shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, downward dog. We'll just do this one more time. So again, finding a breath in downward dog, the container. Inhaling, lifting both heels, cap the spine, come over, shoulders over the wrists, open out the spine into the plank. Take an extra inhale. Exhale, lower down, Ashtangasana, knees down, chin and the chest down. Inhale your way to your back bend, shoulders back, chest forward. This time, just exhale, lower yourself down onto your belly. So lower all the way down. Place the forehead on the back of the hands for a moment. Wobble the hips side to side if you need, and just take a few breaths here. We're just going to explore moving with the breath again into back bends. So again, these kind of small repetitive movements can be really helpful for moving energy. So when you're ready, we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders and the forehead onto the mat. We're going to press down through the pubic bone and the tops of the feet, and we're going to just move with the breath. So as you inhale, lifting the torso and the head, look up. Exhale, lower down. Just as simple as that. Don't use the hands though, use the back. Inhale, lift up. If you're worried you're using the hands, just hover the hands off the floor. Exhale, release. One more of these. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. So you can keep going with that, or you could try the intimidating cobra, where we take the hands off the edges of the mat with the elbows lifted high, as I'm showing here. And we're going to do exactly the same 3 times. So you're on the fingertips if you're in the intimidating cobra, otherwise you're still just in the same position in cobra, hands under the shoulders. Either way, inhale, lift up, lifting the head last, maybe looking up slightly. Exhale, roll that spine, the front spine down, head comes down last. So it's like a wave of motion up the spine. Inhale, lifting up, the chin stays to the chest for the last moment, and we look up. Exhale, we come back down, and the head comes down last. So feel it as a wave. One last time. Inhale, lifting up, chin stays by the chest to the last moment, look up. Exhale, lower, head comes down last. Just take the hands to the side, turn the cheek to the floor. Take a moment here. Okay, and then when you're ready, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders again, tuck the toes, see if we can inhale, come all the way up to upward dog here, if it's too much cobra. Exhale, back to downward dog, taking a breath or so in downward dog. And then at the end of the exhale, look forward and bring the feet to the hands, walk or step or jump. Feet underneath the hips. We're going to take the hands onto the shins here and fold over the legs for a moment. So hands onto the shins or the feet, bend the knees if you need. And then again, we're just going to move with the breath. We're going to try and let the breath move the body. So as you inhale, lift up again, the head comes up last, look up, open the chest. Exhale, folding forward again, letting the head drop low. Inhale, coming up, chin stays to the chest till the last moment. Exhale, coming down, leading with the chest, head follows. Last time. Inhale, look up, lengthen, open chest. Exhale, folding, let the head drop at the last moment. And then staying folded over, bring the hands onto the low back and interlace the fingers. Bring the arms up and over. Let's come back into the shoulders, chest opening here. So we're going to come into another little flow. So a lot happens on each breath. As we inhale, we bend the knees, release the hands and come up to the chair, lifting the hands as high up as possible, keeping the hips low. As we exhale, we come back into the forward fold, hands behind us, interlacing the hands hands back and over. Okay, so we're just going to repeat that a few times. Bend the knees, drop the hips, release the hands, and inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands down, forward fold, hands behind you, interlace fingers, arms up and over. Couple more times. Inhale into the chair. Exhale into our forward fold with the hands interlaced. Last time. Inhale, bend the knees deep, sweep the hands up. Sorry, I'm off the screen. Exhale, forward fold, interlace the fingers, and pause for another breath or two. Bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees deep, push yourself up to stand with a flat back, and come to stand at the front of your mat. Okay, so let's flow a little bit, move the body in a bit more of a dynamic way. So starting in mountain pose, rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting the chest, dropping the tailbone, tucking the chin in, connecting to your breath. So we'll just build it up. We'll start with half salutations, a couple of those, and then full salutations. So inhale, raise the hands. Try and be breath-led. Exhale, forward fold. So first a half salutation. So inhale, look up and lengthen like we already did. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head, palms touch, look up. Exhale, hands to the side. We'll just do one more like that. Inhale, taking the hands up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, dropping the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding in again. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands, look up, stretch, maybe a back bend. Exhale, release the hands to the side. Okay, now a full salutation. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back to the plank or tabletop and inhale. Exhale, lower down, knees on or off the floor. Inhale, enjoy that chest opening back bend. Exhale, down the dog. Take a few breaths here. You want to walk the feet, move the hips, be a bit more moving in your downward dog. That's absolutely fine. We're going to inhale, raise the right leg. Bend the knee, let the foot drop to the left. Inhale to raise the leg again. Exhale to lower it down. Inhale, raise the left leg. Bend the knee, let the foot drop over to the right. On your next inhale, extend the left leg. And exhale, releasing the left leg down. At the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the hands, reach and stretch. Exhale, release the hands to the side. Let's do one more with optional wild thing. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back to the plank. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, open the chest, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Just take a breath in downward dog. Establish the stable container before we come out of it. Okay, so this time we're going to inhale to raise the right leg. Bend the knee, let the foot drop to the left. You can just stay here or come up onto the right fingertips. Take the right hand off the floor and let the right foot come down behind you. Lift the hips, lift the chest, let the right hand dangle. Wild thing. Breathe into your chest, strong chest opener, press solidly through your left hand. To come out, look to the floor, bring the right hand down, pivot on the feet, return to downward dog. This is all optional. Take child's pose if you need. When you're ready, other side, inhale, lift the left leg high, bend the knee, let the foot drop over. Stay here, or wild thing. Take the left hand off the floor, left foot comes all the way down to the floor behind you, and you lift the hips, you lift the chest, so your kind of chest is facing the ceiling, let the left arm dangle, pressing through the right arm, breathe into the chest, all the way to the collarbones. To come out, look to the floor, bring the left hand down, pivot on the feet, return to downward dog. Well done. Take a breath, re-find the stability of downward dog. And at the end of your exhale, walk, step or jump the feet to the hands. Inhale to look up, exhale to fold. Rest through the feet, inhale, raise the hand, open the chest, and you take the fingertips back slightly. Exhale, hands to the side. Just take a moment here. Connect to your breath. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to keep the right foot where it is and step the left foot back and come onto the ball of the left foot and bend the right knee. So we're coming into high lunge legs, but we're going to take the hands behind us, interlace the hands, lift the chest, again countering that desk work, closed chest posture. So we're opening and stretching the chest here, looking up slightly, stretching the knuckles away behind us. And then we're going to take a little twist. So inhale, raise the hands back into the full lunge, high lunge. And as you exhale, bring your left elbow to the outside of the right thigh or hand. And if it's the elbow, palms together, look over your right shoulder. If it's your hand, a little bit easier, you just stretch your right hand back. Taking a couple of breaths here, stabilizing at your core. Keep breathing deep. And then inhale to turn to the front, take the hands down to the floor and just release the left knee down to the floor, come onto the top of the left foot. Again, we're just going to flow with the breath a little bit. So inhale, look up and open the chest. And exhale, flow back into half splits. You might need to move the hands forward and backwards here. Inhale, bring the sole of the right foot down, drop the hips forward, open the chest, look up. Exhale, half splits. And just kind of rocking back and forward. One more time. Inhale into crescent moon. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, coming back, and this time we're going to drop into the lizard. So swap your right hand and right foot over, so you've got both hands on the inside of the right foot. You can tuck the back toe under if you wish, or keep the back knee down. But then we're just going to take the hands forward and start to drop the chest towards the floor. You may, some of you, come onto your forearms or elbows. You may need to put your hands on a block or your forearms onto a block. So just do what you need here. Don't force. And then maybe just glide the hips side to side a little bit. So allow your right foot to drop out onto the little toe edge of your right foot as the right knee drops out to the right. If this doesn't feel comfortable on your knee or anywhere, then skip the rocking. But otherwise, it's just another way to stir up the stagnant energy in the groins and the hips. If you're down on your elbows, come back up to your hands slowly. Take the hips back a little bit, swap the hands over, and just step back to downward dog. Again, you just find that stability. And we'll come into the other side from here. So if it's available, you're going to step your left foot forward from downward dog. If not, come to the knees and bring it forward. Stay on the ball of the back foot. And this side, we need to come up to high lunge from down there. So inhale to raise the hands, and then immediately bringing the hands behind, interlacing the fingers, if possible, with the other little finger on the outside. And again, opening that chest by stretching the knuckles back, trying to lift the hands away from the body and away from the back. If you've got quite open shoulders, squeeze the palms together, looking up slightly, and direct your breath up to your collarbones. And then on your next inhale, raise the hands for full high lunge. And exhale, come into a twist. So right elbow to the outside of left thigh, or right hand reaching the left hand back. If it's the elbow, palms touch, you look over the left shoulder, the back leg's very strong. You're connected to your core, drawing the lower belly back to the spine, away from that left thigh. Breathing deeply. One more breath. Nice, okay, and then release, turn to the front, gently bring that right knee down onto the top of the right foot, and we'll just, or you can keep the right toes tucked under actually, and then we'll just find our crescent moon first. So inhale, draw the shoulders back, open the chest, look up, and then exhale, coming back into the half splits. So you may or may not need to walk the hands forward and back. Inhale, crescent moon lunge, looking up. Exhale, half splits. So just feeling what it's like to have these repetitive movements and breath movement synchrony, gently opening up the body. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, half split. Bringing the sole of that foot down and slightly out to the side. Bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. Keep the right knee where it is, or tuck the right toe under to lift the back knee for a bit more dynamic, and start to drop the chest and the face towards the floor. And if you're more open, this will need you to bend the elbows a little bit and maybe even come down onto the elbows and the forearms, but don't force. Stay on the hands, keep the hands straight, maybe even put the hands on a block if you need. And then again, just that little rhythmic rocking, this time side to side. So as I come to the left, I'd let the big toe edge of the left foot lift. So you kind of rock onto the little toe edge of that foot, allowing the left knee to drop out to the left. And then you rock back to the right. And again, skip this if it doesn't feel appropriate. And then just coming back to the center, if you're down on your forearms, come back onto the hands, bring the left foot inside the left hand again, and tuck the back toe under, send the left foot back to join the right, find downward dog, walk it out side to side if you want to be moving, otherwise come to stillness for a moment. And then we're just going to come down to a child's pose, so you can choose wide knee, big toes touching knees wide, or knees together, just kind of intuit what feels better for your body. You can keep the arms outstretched, or you can have the forearms bent with the head on the arms, or you can bring your hands back towards your feet. So just freestyle child's pose, having a moment here, reconnecting with your breath. Okay, and then just bringing yourself back up. We're going to come back to downward dog, but just as a transition. So again, tucking the toes, finding that downward dog. We're going to step the right foot forward between the hands, and we're going to pivot to the left. So we're going to end up with all toes pointing forward, facing the long edge of your mat. And we're going to just, so we're in Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. And again, we're just going to move with the breath a little bit. So we're going to inhale in the center and exhale, bend the left knee. You might need to move the hands to the left a little bit. Inhale back to the center, exhale, bend the right knee. So we're not moving the feet at this stage, just the knees. Inhaling to the center, exhale, bend left. So as you bend one knee, the other leg should get an inner thigh stretch. Next time you come down to the left, you can stay here and just hold this, sometimes called the skater stretch, with the toes pointing forward, or Skandasana. We can turn the left toes out a little bit, drop the hips all the way down and come onto the heel of the right foot with the toes pointing up to the ceiling. We can keep the hands on the floor for stability, or we can bring the palms together at the center of the chest, and you're using your left elbow to press the left knee behind you. It's an option, otherwise just a couple of breaths in skater stretch, coming back to the center when you need. Final option here, if you want to twist, take the left hand down to the floor in front of the left foot and take the right hand up and look up to your right hand. So your left arm is inside your left leg. Again, this is a chest opener and a twist. Bringing that right hand down, rocking and rolling your way back to the center. Just pause in the center, take that forward fold, dropping the head, Prasarita Padottanasana, strong legs. And then starting with the skater stretch, so straightening the arms, looking up slightly, bend that right knee, and you can just stay here for a few breaths until you need to come back to the center. Or Skandasana, you can turn the right toes out a little bit, drop the hips all the way down, bringing the onto the heel of the left foot, toes to the ceiling, hands on the floor or at the chest. Your right arm is inside the right knee or thigh, pushing it back. Strong stretch on that inner left leg, moving stagnant energy. And then you can stay here all the twist. You just release the right hand to the floor, kind of beyond the right foot, your upper arm's inside the leg, reach the left arm up and look up to the left fingertips. And feel this is a strong chest opener and spinal twist. Breathe deep into that posture. And then bringing the left hand down again, we kind of rock forward and roll your way back to the center. Just bring the hands to the hips, drop the head one more time for Prasarita Padottanasana. And then from here, just release the hands to the floor, pivot your way back to the front of the mat, bringing the right foot back to join the left, the downward dog. Stepping the feet forwards a little bit and mat distance apart with the toes turned out, and this time dropping down into Malasana squat. So we're in another deep squat. And again, hands on the floor or palms to touch at the center of the chest. And we pause. So mixing up fluid movement with just moments of stillness, reconnecting to the breath. Okay, and then just bringing the hands to support you, to allow you to come down to the ground into seated. And we're going to extend the left leg forward and come into Janu Shirshasana. So have your sole of your right foot to the inside of the left thigh. I'm going to do one of my favorite little sequences for moving energy, twisting and moving in all the different ways the spine likes to move. So firstly forward, inhale, stretch up, exhale, forward fold, Janu Shirshasana, dropping the head, breathing into the back of the body. So we won't spend so long in each shape, but we'll move through each shape. Inhale to come up, come straight into the counter. Bring your right hand onto the mat behind you in the center of the mat. Lean into the right hand, lift everything up, reach the left arm back. So it's like almost a back bend, a side stretch of back bend, very expansive after the forward fold. And then exhale, pressing through the hand, bring yourself back down, spiral your body to the front. And continue to spiral to twist. So take your right hand to the outside of the left leg, left hand behind you, looking over the left shoulder. Maybe finding the right thigh, maybe finding the left foot. Breathe deep. And inhale, unwind, come back to the center. And exhale, just continue to spiral the other way. So left hand comes to the inside of the right leg or foot, right hand behind you or all the way around for the left thigh, looking over the right shoulder. Breathing as deeply as you can. When we want to move energy, best thing we can do is make these shapes and then breathe as expansively as possible. That's what moves things. That's what moves the energy, allows the energy to move. Then inhale, come back to the center, and we shall swap sides. Taking the right foot out, bringing the sole of the left foot to the inner thigh. Inhale, raising the hands. Exhale, forward folding, dropping the head. Slow, deep breaths here, breathing into the back of the body. And then inhale, coming up. Bringing that left hand behind you into the center of the mat, fingertips pointing behind. Lean into that left hand, lift the hips, press the right foot down, reach the right hand back, open the chest. Breathe deep. Expand and open your front body. And slowly lowering down, bringing those hips down, spiraling back to the center and continuing that spiral into a twist. So we bring the left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand behind us or reaching for the left thigh, looking over the right shoulder. Breathing again expansively here. Maybe we find the foot, the right foot with the left hand. Don't force anything. Massage your internal organs with full breathing as you twist here. And then on an exhale, unwind, come back to the center. And inhale your way into the twist the other way. So right hand to the right leg or foot, left hand to the floor or to right thigh, look over the left shoulder. Breathe deep. And in exhale, in the exhale, coming forward, unwind the spine back to the center. Great. So let's move back into the shoulders. And I love combining shoulder openers with hip openers. It's a great counter for desk work. So we're going to move into Purvakasana, the cow face. If you want to sit on a block, this could be a good opportunity if you know this posture is difficult for you. And so we're going to start with the left knee on the bottom and swing the leg in, so your left knee is pointing right in front of you. And then we see what we can do here. Maybe we can only bring the right foot to the right side of the left knee. Maybe we can bring the right foot to the left side of the left knee. And then if we can do that, maybe we can start to walk the right foot back. So eventually, and I always sit forward and really squeeze the inner thighs together and then sit myself back down again. That's my little tip. Eventually that right foot might be more towards the outside of the left hip. Otherwise it's further forward and the sole of the foot's on the floor to the left or right of the left knee. And you could be sitting on a block. Okay, so let's just establish this hip position first of all, palms to soles. If you've not got the soles of the feet available, if your right foot's on the floor, then just fingertips on the floor, but we ground down through the hips, through the hands and the feet, and we lift up through the spine. This is also a chest opener. We want it to feel like a chest opener, so we roll those shoulders back and down, lifting the chest, slightly drawing the chin in towards the chest, maybe closing the eyes. And feel that connection between when we open the shoulders and open the hips at the same time. There's something synergistic, like more than the sum of the two parts. It opens the body in a beautiful way. So we can just stay here, or we can go for the full shoulder opener. We can raise the left arm, drop the fingertips down the spine, use the right hand on the front of the elbow to push back and down, or full Gourmakasana arms. Take the right hand out to the side, palms facing behind, and wriggle the fingertips up the spine. Maybe you find your left fingertips. If you don't and you've got a strap handy, take the strap in the left hand and try to find the other end of the strap with the right hand. If you don't have a strap and you can't find the left fingers, just hold your top and tail of your top. Keeping that left armpit open, keeping the chin lifting, taking some deep breaths all the way up into the upper chest and upper back, busting out some of the tension held there with deep breathing. And at the end of your next exhale, gently release. Move the shoulders a little bit if you need, bring the movement back. Haven't quite finished this side. We're going to bring the palms together to touch in front. And we're going to inhale, open wide, taking the hands back. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the left arm on top and either hold your opposite arm and shoulder or wrap into Garudasana arms. So we're combining Garudasana arms with Gourmakasana legs. Again, something else that I love to do. And lift the elbows up to keep them in line with the shoulders. Press the hands away from the face. And again, just connect with your deep breathing, breathing all the way up into the upper chest, all the way up into the upper back. Stretching the body from within with your deep breathing. Busting out tension in the upper back and shoulders. And exhale, lowering the elbows, slowly unwind, and just unwind yourself straight into a gentle twist here by bringing the left forearm to connect with the right thigh and the right hand behind you, and just lift up through the spine and look towards or over your right shoulder. You may feel an intensification of the hip stretch, but again, when we combine the hip with a twist, hip opening with a twist, again, it's got that synergistic quality of extra opening for the body. And then just gently unwind. We'll come to the other side. You can just swap, but because we've got also this little movement focus, there's that nifty thing we can do here. Which way is it? We turn to, we've got the right leg on top, so we turn to the left. We take the hands down to the floor on the left, and then we press through the legs and we pivot on the feet all the way behind, all the way round until we're facing the front again. And if it doesn't work for you, don't worry, just get into the posture however you can. That's it, Penny, keep going. Not sure that's worked. It should, you don't, if it works, you don't need to move your feet. You just pivot on your feet and you should sit down in exactly the same position, but with the other leg on top, in this case, the left leg. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, we just laugh at ourselves and come in however we need. So in case anybody didn't get there, just remember on this side, we've got the right knee on the bottom pointing forward, and we've got the left foot either to the inside or the outside of the right knee, or we've begun or completed that journey of taking the left foot back so it's outside the right hip. We're sitting on a block if we need. We've got the inner thighs squidged together, and we start with grounding. Palms to soles or fingertips on the floor, dropping down through the pelvis, lifting up through the spine, feeling it as a chest opener, so we're rolling the shoulders back and down, drawing the lower belly in, slightly dropping the chin to extend the back of the neck, and connecting to your breath. And then moving into the shoulders, so raising the right arm, bending at the elbow, dropping the fingertips down the spine, left fingertips on the front of the elbow, pull up and push down and back. Left arm comes out to the side with the palm behind. If we want to take full Gomakasana arms, wiggle the fingertips up the spine, find the right fingertips or your strap or your material of your top, and then lift the chin, open that right armpit, connect to your deep core. Drop down through the pelvis as you lift up through the spine, and then move to your breath, deep, expansive breaths to open the body from the inside. At the end of your exhale, gently release. Move the shoulders if you need to, if there's any pins and needles or stuckness. And then bring the palms together in the front. And when you're ready, take a big inhale to open wide, stretching the fingertips. And exhale, bring the right arm on top, crossing the arms as high up as possible, holding your opposite shoulder or wrapping the forearms in the palms for Garudasana. And then we lift the elbows up, we press the hands forward. And again, we drop down through the pelvis, through the tailbone, we lift up through the spine, we draw the lower belly to the spine, and then it's all about the breath. Breathe all the way up into the upper portion of the lungs, opening, expanding the collarbones, opening, expanding the shoulder blades, the back of the body, the trapezius along the top of the shoulders, from the neck. Deep breaths, stretching all of these areas. The expansion as you inhale. And then slowly lower and just kind of unwind yourself straight into that twist. So the right forearm's kind of connecting with the left thigh, the left hand's behind you. We're lifting up through the spine, we're dropping down through the tailbone and the pelvis. The pelvis floor is kind of grounding, but at the same time gently contracting in its center to keep us stable, and the lower belly's gently drawing back to the spine to keep us stable at our center, but without losing the grounding feeling of the lower body. Spine upright, deep breaths. And then slowly unwind, come back to the center. Just take the hands behind you, unrelease, unrelease, release, release the legs. And just stretch them out in front if you need, massage the knees or move them. And then bring yourself into a wide leg seated fold. So again, another stagnant energy busting posture, Upavishta. So we will just move side to side a little bit and then we'll come forward. So we're going to inhale, stretch the right arm up, exhale, stretch over to the left. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, take the right hand down. Inhale, stretch up through the left. Exhale, lean over to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, release the left hand down. One more time, but this time we'll pause. Inhale, reach up through the right. Exhale, lean over to the left. We're going to pause, take a couple more breaths here. Opening that right side body. And then again, moving with the breath. So on your next inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, allow the right hand to come down. Inhale, stretch up through the left. Exhale, lean over to the right. And pause. A couple more breaths. And your next inhale, come up. Exhale, release the left hand down. Great. And then this time, in your own time, just take that walk forward with the hands until you feel the inner thighs, inner groins being stretched to a point where it's definitely got an intensity, but you can breathe into that intensity. And just really just know that we pack a lot of our deep stress, tension, traumas, emotional baggage deep into our hips. So just feel that we're moving into this area. And again, let your breath be your ally. Deep opening, releasing breaths here, expanding as you inhale and releasing as you exhale. Keeping the legs active, the toes up, jaw relaxed, face relaxed. Some more breaths here. And slowly walking the hands back in. Just take your hands behind the knees, bringing the knees in, and giving yourself a hug. And we're just going to, again, move. And we're going to try and use our core to balance us. Okay, so I'll just show you. So we're going to hug the knees, or hold the knees properly rather than hug them. We need a curve in the spine. We're going to let ourselves come back. So we're massaging the spine and let ourselves come back up and use our core to pause. You see my feet aren't on the floor. If the feet crash down, don't worry, but this is our intention. So let ourselves roll back, come back, pause. Curve the spine, let ourselves roll back. The heels can come away from the buttocks, but we try to let our core pause us with the feet off the floor. So just try that a few more times. As you go back, you can lift the heels away from the buttocks to give you that momentum. And as you come back forward, they come back to the buttocks. And we find that moment of stillness, stability. If this feels awfully uncomfortable in your vertebrae, you can skip this. Next time we come to pause, holding the knees, we can just open out into the butt. And take a few slow deep breaths again, finding the container when we're doing a lot of fluid movement. We also want to be doing the opposite of that, solid, strong, container-like postures, so that we're contained, that fluid movement can be contained, so that we can be fluid and expansive. We need to have the core control. Breathe fully. And slowly lower down, if you can, shallow boat, heels, shoulders off the floor for a breath or two. And all the way down. Just let yourself release, relax for a moment. Relax the belly. Sigh it out while you breathe. Okay, so again, we'll just do a little bit more movement and then a static hold. We'll do a bridge. We'll move towards a supported bridge, or possibly the wheel if you want. But just to get us there, we'll do a little bit of repetitive movement first. Warning, this is quite intense on the buttocks, but it's good for toning the buttocks. Okay, so we're going to bring the heels into the buttocks. And we're just going to pulse up and down with the breath, so palms down. So we're going to inhale, lift the hips, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Just moving with your breath, up and down, nice, slow, controlled movements, breath movement synchrony. Next time you come up, pause in the supported bridge. You can hold the edges of the mat, or you can interlace the fingers underneath you, or just press the palms down. I'm going to challenge you to lift the right leg up and then pulse a few times. Lift and lower the buttocks. Lift and lower the buttocks. This is strong work. If it's too much, just do a few pulses with both feet on the floor. And then release the right leg down. Restabilize at the center. Lift the left leg. And then pulse, lift the hips and lower, lift the hips, lower. Strong work on the standing thumb. Couple more, lift and lower. If it's too intense, you're doing it with both feet on the floor. Release the left leg down, lift, pulse a few more times here. Lift the hips, lower slightly, lift the hips, lower slightly, lift the hips, lower slightly, and come all the way down. Okay, intense. Just take a moment. So if that was super intense and enough for your buttocks, then just rest. Constructive rest pose is going to relax everything, relax the buttocks. If not, we're going to do one more supportive bridge or possibly wheel, but this time just the classic held posture. And you might feel it's a little bit more open having come into it in this way. So heels close to the buttocks, feet parallel. Inhale, lift up, interlace the fingers underneath if you wish, or come to the wheel. And this time, just take about 5 slow, deep breaths. You'll probably feel that work that we just did in the buttocks and the thighs, but just breathe into the intensity. If it's too much, come down early. Listen to your body. Otherwise, again, once you've made the shape, breathe, especially because this is another beautiful chest opener. So touch the collarbones with your inhales. And exhale, winding down from the upper back to the lower back. Really connect to your core to allow you to place this vertebra down one by one. So when you get to about the mid back, switch the core on, draw the lower belly to the spine to help you find that mobility in the spine to place it down. Vertebra by vertebra, move the shoulders back, move the feet forward a little bit. Just take the constructive rest pose, just walking the feet out to the side, letting the inner knees rest against each other. Belly breathe, maybe one hand on heart, one hand on belly, or both hands on the floor. And just let the heart rate settle after the effort. So we're going to counter with an outer hip opener and twist. So when you're ready, coming in to thread the needle, take the outer right ankle on the front of the left thigh, feed the hand right arm through the gap under the right leg, left arm around the outside. And again, we're moving stagnant energy now in the outer hip, the right outer hip, another hot spot of tension, the glutes, the outer hip. So again, breathe into that intensity. You could try an ever so gentle rock side to side here. Just a little pulsing rock. Explore movement in the stillness and how that helps the body release. Sometimes gentle rocking can support release, and sometimes it just kind of gets in the way. Just feel that for yourself, stillness and movement. And then coming into a twist, release the left foot to the floor, take the arms out to the side, keep the legs in the same position as you just let the left leg drop out to the left until the sole of the right foot meets the floor and the right knee points up to the ceiling. You can look over your right shoulder again. This is giving you a lovely pectoral chest opener on the right side. Breathe into your right chest. And a lovely spinal twist. So all these detoxifying, destagnantifying, reducing stagnancy, creating flow, movement in the body. Deep breaths. And drawing the lower belly in, coming back to the center, releasing the right foot down, swapping sides, flexing the left foot, outer ankle on the front of the right thigh, drawing the knee in, left arm through that gap under the left leg. And breathe into your left hip, right foot's relaxed, left foot's flex. Move the stuck energy with your awareness, with your breath, with your intention, your invitation. And explore a little rock side to side, a tiny little movement, pulsing movement. If it helps, great. If it doesn't, come back to stillness. And pausing, releasing the right foot down to the floor, holding the shape, letting the right knee drop out to the right till the sole of the left foot meets the floor, extending the arms away, looking out over your left shoulder, breathing all the way up into the left side of the upper chest. So deep breaths. Find your core connection, roll back to the center. And just feel like you're centrally aligned through the neck, spine and head. We're going to stir the porridge pot. So we keep the big toes touching and with one hand on each knee. And we draw off big circles in opposite directions with the knees. So we push the knees forward, bring them out to the sides, away from each other, back towards each other, pushing them forwards, bringing them away from each other. Looks like we're stirring two giant pots of porridge in opposite direction, but keep the big toes touching, big toes, feet connected. And a bit like what we did at the start, just moving energy in the hip joints here, and then change direction, bringing the knees towards each other, in towards the chest, away from each other, pushing them forward, in towards the chest, away from each other, and opposite direction. And then next time you come back to the center, just find happy baby. And again, we'll explore movement and stillness. So in happy baby, sometimes I love to just be still. Sometimes I like to explore the side to side rocking. But if you're rocking side to side, try to do it nice and slow, measured movement, not momentum. So we use the left hand to pull the left knee down towards the floor. We come back to the center. We use the right hand to pull the right knee towards the floor and allow ourselves to move with that and come back to the center. So it's a little bit of core awareness. So it's quite a slow, measured movement. But we do move with this kind of rhythmic side to side, and you can also coordinate with the breath if you wish. Inhaling back to the center, exhale coming down. So just a movement exploration. If you really just want to be still, that's fine too. Next time you come back to the center from the left, just hug both knees in, give yourself a little hug here, just holding the thighs towards each other so that we just let the inner thighs relax. So you're using your arms to kind of clump the thighs together. Take a few more breaths, and then when you're ready, transition into Shavasana. Your legs should feel quite ready to flop out after that little sequence. So just let them flop out to the sides, arms away from the sides, palms up. After all that movement of energy and twisting and shoulder opening and hip opening, everything we've done this evening, we're just going to drop into total stillness to integrate, receive the fruits of our practice. And let go, become heavy, feel the effects of the practice moving through the body, buzzing, tingling, sensation, warmth. And then just release any breath control, release any control of the body, as we can. Relax the jaw and the face and the eyes, the belly. Relax. Just from here, deepening the breath. Starting to move the fingers and the toes again. Any stretches that feel good. And just in your own time, unless you wish for longer in Shavasana, just gradually return. Palms together, gratitude to ourselves for taking time to practice, our bodies, the yoga in our lives, and anything else you're grateful for. And complete in the eyes. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you on Saturday, Penny.